This week on Dear Bros, a woman has some major family issues and the same ex-boyfriend.
Oh, a double hitter.
Double header.
Stay tuned.
That's not the same topic.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Tim Fulton,
I'm Andy Smith.
and this is Dear Bros, a little segment where we rip advice column questions for our own personal gain. And we give our own bro advice to those questions. Andy picked out the questions. I've said questions a lot within a very short
You
period
did.
of time.
See what
He picked out the questions today. Andy, what do we got?
we have: family issues, X's and O's.
X's and O's. That means two things.
Now, we're gonna do this one first.
Okay, what-
Heavy one. We're gonna end light. Go in heavy, come out light. Like the Biggest Loser. This one is titled "Family Estrangement is Hard to Explain to Kids."
Okay. Yes, it is. That is true.
Dear Abby, I'm a woman who's been through a lot. I grew up thinking that my grandmother was my mother was my sister, my uncle was my brother, and my own siblings are my nieces and nephews. A, quote, family issue brought it all out in the open, and now I'm estranged from my family.
Okay.
So just let all that sink in.
Got it.
Okay.
That got heavy fast.
It gets heavier. My grandmother who adopted me passed away a few years ago. The issue was lies and the fact that I was molested, which is why my grandmother stepped in. How do I explain to my children, 6 and 9, it's weird names for children, that we don't have family on my side? They've been asking because my husband is very close with his own family.
Whoa.
I'll let you take this one, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So we know what the family issue was.
Yeah, she was molested.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little confused because she has two siblings.
So
So I'm confused why she was the only one that was led to believe that her mother was her grandmother, her mom was her sister.
speculation, but a girl is 13. The 13-year-old gets pregnant. Mom says, I'll raise it as mine, so people don't talk. 10 years, we'll say 20 years goes by. The woman is now 33. The mother is 33, and the daughter is 20. And then the 33-year-old has two more kids. She thinks that they're her nieces and nephews, but they're all in wedlock. They're done
Yeah, it could have been, even if she was 18 or 20 when she had the other two kids, it would have been
Yeah.
more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she always thought that they were nieces and nephews, and it turns out they're her brothers and sisters.
Man,
Heavy shit. So
this is a rough one.
that's a rough one. So bombshells aside,
Quick question. The actual definition of estranged,
you don't talk to them.
that's the literal definition?
That's my definition.
Okay. Just because I'm really dumb, we're going to look this up. And now we'll know a new word. No longer close or affectionate to someone, alienated. Harriet felt estranged from her daughter more than ever.
Yeah.
Okay. So no longer feeling affectionate to someone.
So she wrote them off for
Yes.
good. Basically, is the moral of the story.
Whew, that's heavy, dude.
It is heavy. I don't know how you explain to a kid's. The 6-year-old, I'm almost tempted to say, don't even say anything. But the 9-year-old is old enough where they're able to see family dynamics for what they are. Especially if they look at their father's side and say, we have so much family on this side. What about mom's side? If they're point blank asking you, you have to give them some sort of answer. What do you?
So I think that if she,
You can't look at your own children and be like, well, mommy was molested.
yeah, I think she needs to think really hard about if she ever wants to reconnect with any of that side of the family again.
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, she might just be like, I need to get away from them right now and blah, blah, blah. if she's definitely going that route, then she just needs to make up a thing with her kids, whether she's going to just tell them that she doesn't have any family until they're older, or if she's going to try to breadcrumb them into what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like you said, a 9-year-old is not going to have the capacity to understand all those dynamics
I might
and why they are.
go about it telling them that mommy's side of the family are bad people, because you don't have to explain point blank what happened, but you can explain, like, kids watch TV, be like, your shows like the good guys and the bad guys. Well, mommy's side of the family is full of bad guys, so we don't talk to them anymore.
It gets a little weird though, because there's so many. Like, I don't know if her sisters are necessarily bad people. They're younger than she is.
Yeah, but for this purpose,
Yeah.
it might be a good catch-all. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go into details with a 9-year-old. You just have to get them enough understanding to where they stop questioning. I don't like how I'm phrasing.
But you
that,
also don't want your. I don't know if you want your kids to feel like they were. Not that they're not going to agree that there were some bad people on that side of the fence, but kids get curious when they get older. They might want to meet their other, like, you don't know. Some people want nothing to do. Some people want to find out.
Yeah.
And just being, it's just hard, man. That's such a weird age
I
to
know.
explain
But
serious things.
The reverse could happen. What happens if they run into their family when they're older? What if they're 17 or 18 and they meet a cousin that they never knew about?
Yeah.
It might be easier to and better, I should say, to introduce them to, like, the not the greatest people in the world concept now,
Yeah.
and maybe even leave it at that. I don't know. This one is a little heavy for me, but that's what my gut says. Tell them that they're bad people.
Yeah, either that or just wait till they're older.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
It's either wait till she's a little older to tell them, because that can be heavy for a kid to go through. Like, what I'm thinking of it with that is, like, if they're very curious and they ask all the time and it seems to be very upsetting to them.
Yeah.
Okay, but if it seems like it's not going to benefit them in any way, there's no sense of filling their head that, like, their family's bad, like part of their family's bad people. Because, like, some kids, like, will internalize that, and who knows what the ways are.
Kids' thought processes are all sorts of fucked.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. I remember once when I was a kid, people told me that we breathe out carbon dioxide and trees breathe in carbon dioxide. But no one ever told me that they needed carbon dioxide. I thought it was bad for them. So I thought whenever I walked by trees, I was hurting them. So I would sprint to my bus every day to try to, like, not breathe on the trees as much as possible. And I would sprint home. And who in their right mind would think that this stupid-ass kid would come to that conclusion? You can't always predict.
People just thought you were that kid at the school for a couple years.
Yeah.
But that's the weird thing, though, because think about that concept, right? You heard that as a kid. Like, we breathe in oxygen, they breathe in carbon dioxide, but you didn't know it was good for them. You just took that as, like, oh, I'm hurting. You didn't think to ask a follow-up.
Yeah.
Like, does that mean that they get hurt when we, like, you're just like, oh, my God, I know this now.
Yeah.
And you don't think to ask a follow-up question, and because there's no constructive thinking when you're that, or it's very little. So if they might hear my family's bad, and they might think, like, I'm bad because my family's bad.
Yeah, that's
so I'm a bad person.
That's a good point.
That's where it gets tricky, because, like, they could be running away from trees and shit. All right,
You're not hurting the trees, children.
Let's see what the abs has to say. Dear Strange, your family situation is complicated, and I don't think it would be appropriate for you to reveal the details until your children are quite a bit more mature. Lies, cover-ups, and child molestation are valid reasons to have distance yourself. In the meantime, tell them you will explain when they are older. At some point, they may need the information in case any of your relatives try to contact them in the future.
I feel like she's treating them too much like adults. You can't look at a kid and say, I'll tell you when you're older, because they're going to turn around and be like, all right, I'm older.
No, but here's the thing, though, dude. As a parent, this isn't something that you're like. This isn't hiding the fact that Santa isn't real. This is shit that adults have problems with.
Yeah.
Child molestation, shit like that. Like, you might have to just deal with the kid being annoying, wanting to know, and you might just have to, Stonewall Jackson and just say like, no, you got to wait till you're older. I promise I'll tell you when you're older.
That's fair.
And because, like I said, like, out of the sheer fact of not wanting to hear that question answered or like whatever, like, when they are older, they will understand why you waited.
Yeah, that's true too.
As an adult, like right now, if somebody, one of your friends waited to tell you something like this that happened to them, you'd be like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I would have reacted when I was 15.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
All
true.
right. So,
Just like in baseball, today we have a double hitter. Double header.
see
Double header.
what we did there.
This one is called X's and O's.
All right. This one I was confused for a second, but then I was like, oh, I get it. So, man and his crush had the same ex-boyfriend.
Oh, okay. I see why you
Yeah. It's very short. Dear Abby, this is the guy. There's this guy I like a lot. I want to ask him out, but it recently came to my attention that we both have a mutual ex-boyfriend. Should I bring it up or let it go? He is friends with our shared ex on Facebook, and I don't know what to do.
I'm going to take this one for obvious reasons.
That's fine. Okay, go ahead. They don't come along often. I got to take it.
Stop laughing at that's a hate crime.
That's a hate laugh.
You know what? The gay community already is relatively small. These things are going to happen. They happen in the straight community. Well, not like that. No, I guess they don't happen in the straight. This one specifically will not happen in the straight community. But gay community is relatively small. Things like this happen. Don't make a big deal out of it. People have mutual exes. It happens.
Yeah.
Get over it. The fact that you have a mutual ex means you have the same taste and that you got over the same taste. Bond over this experience.
Yeah.
You don't hide it. Don't be like, it's not like some big ass secret, but just let it be what it is.
Yeah. See, you know what I find interesting with this?
What?
Is that this person who's writing this in such a small thing, there's a couple things in here that can be construed as like, oh, that's a good point, or you're acting crazy.
Yeah.
And the first one, the main one is, oh, they're friends with their ex on Facebook. It's like, who cares? But then when you think about it, you're like, yeah, that could be a red flag. Depending on the person, it could be a red flag. But it could also be nothing.
The fact that they brought up social media like that,
And they don't even know them is what concerns me.
I feel like this is a younger person.
Th-
I'm going to say like a teenager.
Yep.
It reads like a teenager wrote this.
Yes. I would agree.
Yeah.
Because it's a immature thing to worry about.
Yeah. It's like the lack of life experience makes
Yes.
you worry about this.
Caveat to that, there's a lot of people that are older that act immature as well. So.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so
Speculation.
dear guy, once the quarantine and social distancing are lifted, ask him out. When do you? The response is longer than the question. When you do, I think it would be wise to disclose this information to your crush because it would become apparent soon enough. If things move forward, there are likely to be pictures posted on Facebook. If you try to sweep it under the carpet, he will think you are doing it because you have something to hide. Introduce the subject this way. Small world, isn't it? You literally said that.
Yeah, that's a lame way of saying it, but yeah, small world.
Yeah.
A small,
Make a pros and cons
fabulous
chart.
world.
Have a recap night. Just
What did you hate about him?
that conversation would be funny for 5 minutes, and then it would just be like, what?
Imagine their entire relationship just ends up revolving around their hatred of one mutual person.
I could see it.
I could see it too.
I could see it happening. I could totally see that happening.
That's a little bit depressing.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns about this topic, Andy? These topics?
Negative.
Okay, guys, this has been Dear Bros. Let us know in the comment section about these articles, questions, comments, whatever, in the
Advice columns.
advice columns in the comment section down below. What do you think the woman should do? How would you tell your 6 and 9-year-old child about your side of the family if it was as intense as hers? And would you reveal to a potential crush that you have the same ex-boyfriend? We'll catch you guys next time.
Later, Gators.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day.